Flyers lose this one 7-5 to the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. Welcome to Postgame Live, presented by Curado Insurance. Ashlyn Sullivan, Scott Hartnell, Al Morgani here with you. At one point, the Flyers were down 3-0. It looked like this game was basically over, and the Flyers very much had other plans. A very entertaining second and third period, pushing for overtime, which we've become so used to. And unfortunately, the Panthers snapped the streak of 5 games right at the end.
Crazy game, like you said. 6 goals in this second period alone. The Flyers take a 5-4 lead. You think it's going to be game over after that. They're so good at shutting down games, and then they score 3 goals in the last few minutes of the game. So a little bit disappointing end. Obviously, you have the Fedotov pulled after the first period. Not sure what was said in that locker room. Maybe try and change the mojo for the Flyers. It worked to get them the lead, but then a little bit of a collapse at the end.
It was a wild game, right?
Wild.
It was just an absolutely wild.
Beautiful goals.
Yeah, and like the Flyers had a pretty good advantage for a large portion of the game. They played very well, come back, as you mentioned. I didn't think the goaltending was that strong, especially at the end of the game.
Both sides.
Both sides. I mean, you didn't get Bob in this game against you, so they managed to come back. There were good things to pull out of the game. I guess you could go over this like for hours on things that happened. With Fairby, was it a good penalty to take? Was it a bad penalty to take? The goaltending, but I think what you saw was Florida, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, how good a team they are, and their power play just buries you.
Right, and I think that's the key. Is you see that the biggest difference between these two teams right now, it's the power play, right? I mean, the Florida Panthers cashing on 4 power play goals. The Flyers not even close to that on their power play right now.
Yeah, well, their penalty kill as well against the Flyers looked pretty darn good as well. But yeah, when you got Barkov and you got Matthews and you got Reinhart on the back door, it's pretty hard. Once they get the puck in control, they're zipping that puck around, making the penalty killers. Not only the Flyers, but they do it all over this NHL, right? So kind of obviously they were 4 for 5, so that's doing pretty good for
yeah, and that Matthew Tkachuk would end up with 4 points.
5 points.
5 points.
One goal, 4 assists.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely a good night for them, and the Florida Panthers upset the Flyers here. Now it's time for Yingling Presents Logger Up. It's the game winner for the Panthers at the end of this game to really turn this game around, and it's Sam Reinhart, who has been excellent against the Flyers, Scott.
Well, just the puck control, right? We were just talking about Barkov over to Tkachuk there as well, back to him. You get a shot from up top, and then you're hunting there, and fortunate balance to go to Reinhart right there. But when he had it cocked ready to go before the puck even came to him, a wide open cage like that, he's not going to miss that one.
Yeah, and you see Kolosov overplaying to one side. I mean, it's tough with his power play. You see it go from one side of the ice to the other, but he's over the other side. That is, I mean, that is wide open for a guy like that.
And yeah, you didn't need to go almost far down on that one. He could have shot it anywhere in that wide open cage, but that's what goal scorers do. Just hammered that puck right in there, and you kind of had the sense, right, that they were already 3 for 4 at that point. 2 for 3. That was the third one. The empty net for Tkachuk was the last one on the power play. But yeah, you shoot yourself in the foot when you take the penalties that you're not saving a goal. You're 180 feet from your net. Those are the ones that kind of kill you.
Right, and we saw both backup goaltenders here tonight. We thought maybe we'd see Sam Ersson here tonight. Not going to see him. Maybe we'll see him Saturday or Sunday this weekend. But you saw Ivan Fedotov start this game, get pulled after the first period. Then Kolosov comes in. I think you leave tonight kind of how you started tonight. Still not really sure on both of them.
I don't know. What do you think, Al?
Well, I didn't think Fedotov. I mean, the 2 goals, I was wondering if it wasn't get the team going a little bit. They weren't great, but I was wondering, look, after the days off that they had, maybe to just send a message. I mean, this play here, Forster just gets beat on a play, gets beat down the boards. The Brink got beat up for the boards earlier than that, and then the goal gets through him. I don't know, but this one here, I guess you could make a case he can go out and cut it down a little bit better. But that first one, I don't know, that's on the goaltender.
Yeah, and then these ones, they're just passing around like playing against children, right? And backhand elevation on that one. Their power play, you leave the guy on the side of the cage like Verhaeghe, a goal scorer like that, he's going to find a little place through the body to get that one through. So I don't think you can really fault the goaltending, but pulling Fedotov, I'm not sure what happened or whatever, but just trying to change the energy of the team on that, and that's probably the only thing you can do at that moment in time for Torts.
Yeah, and Kolosov at that point, like third period, I think a couple of times didn't get over the other side of the crease in time, so it was tough. But you looked at it, you played a scrambly game. I'm sure as a coach, it'd be a lot. Torts is going to go over with this, but the fact that they came back, I believe you were in the building or watching. You're thinking after 3-0, it's like, oh wow, this is just thing. And here they come. They come roaring back again. Fairby takes that penalty at the end. That's a very interesting situation to me. I mean, Sanheim gets buried, one of your team leaders. It's a tough time in the game to take a penalty like that, but you see him go down against the boards. You don't see exactly. I thought he got hit high. I didn't think it was one of those cheap ones in the lower back or whatever. But he stands up for a teammate and ends up costing you.
Yeah, and Joel Farabee had his wheels tonight.
Yes, he did.
Flying. He was making plays, a couple good chances to score. He did get an assist on Forster's power play goal, so he was doing all the right things. And then at the end of the game, it kind of leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. I've been there before. I've done those kind of stupid things where you take a penalty, ends up costing you. But for Farabee, I think he's got to hold his head up high because he played a solid.
He did. And he got some hammers in there too. He was going pretty good.
Yeah, he was all over the ice. That's for sure. The Flyers, they lose this one to the Florida Panthers. Let's go back downstairs and hear from Nick Seeler.
Games like that where it flows, you guys were down 3-0, you guys were leading 5-4. Are there a lot of positives to take from games like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had a really good second period there and crawled our way out of that hole there and ended up getting the lead in the third and would have loved to hang on to that one. But a lot of positives, and I thought we produced offensively, which was great for us.
Was it hard getting into this game after having a couple days off without games?
I think I don't think we had a bad first period. I thought we were generating chances, but I think it, maybe structurally a little bit. After the first, I thought we started, kind of playing in their face and surfing and we had a good third man high and it created offense for us. So I thought we did a really good job. And like I said earlier, a lot of positives coming out of tonight.
What's it like just chemistry out there?
It's great. I mean, those guys are obviously, some of our most skilled players, and it's great to see them, get on the board and make those plays for us. And, Meach seems to find ways to make plays like that, and it's nice Tippett got rewarded.
How'd you see the end of that game? Because obviously, you guys are holding on to a 5-4 lead, but I guess how'd you see the last few minutes sort of transpire?
What do you mean in terms of?
You guys have made it a part of your identity to stick up for one another, and obviously Joel goes in when you see Sam Bennett hit Travis. Is that a moment where maybe just collectively has to be a little bit more disciplined?
No, I have no issues what Beezer did. I think he's a great teammate. 6 up for a guy, and we ended up getting a penalty. Whether that was fair or not, I'm not here to say, but I have no issues with what Beezer did.
We are back post-game live talking about the Florida Panthers here in their power play, and this is the goal, Al, that ties it all up.
Yeah, they're skating here 4-on-4 here, and you see this setup here. Go back. It's really, they just so in sync, Scott. This one I'm not sure about this goal here to get beat on that side.
Yeah, a couple guys screening him. I'll give him that, but it's such a far shot. You hope that he'd be able to track that puck, but I know Casey's on that draw 4-on-4. He won it back, but it hit the linesman skate and then goes back to the Florida Panthers guy, right? And then they up to Forsling. He walks the line, shoots. So it's a game of bounces as well and battling. And
there's screens in front, but it's pretty. The distance from the defenseman, you'd think you'd be able to pick up that goal.
Right.
It's weird. It's coming through, and he's just kind of standing there, just like this, and then ends up going, right under his glove over his pad. So a little unfortunate, and basically the backbreaker that had him.
Big time. And that goal was 4-on-4, but really what the Panthers did, they really killed the Flyers with their man advantage. And we talked about it pregame, how you really had to be disciplined against this team, because when you look at just their roster, the talent they have, it's scary to think about.
Well, they were riding high coming in too, right? Over 50% their last few games, and look at this passing play by these guys, just backhand after backhand, and then the backhand to finish it off. They're just crazy passing around this.
Yeah, this is one. I mean, this one you can just show it over and over again to see the skill level that they have. And you mentioned it, backhand. I mean, to do that, and it almost looks casual, Scott, when they're flying in like that with the pressure they have, and they just know that they can make these skill plays.
And it's a group that's been together for a few years, right? They went to the finals and lost a couple years ago, one last year. Not all because of their power play, but just they know where everyone's going to be. And this is Reinhardt, the game winner. Like, they know that he's in the backside every time, wanting to shoot that puck, always going north towards the goaltender, and he picked up an easy one there for the shootout.
Right, and you talk about how I think this is the difference when you talk about it was great the Flyers fought back in this game. When you have a power play like this, you see Flyers are steps away from this.
Yeah, sorry, get my thoughts here together. Our penalty kill was unbelievable the first 20 games.
Yeah.
It's been slipping here slowly. So they got to kind of look at what's going on, what's kind of been leaky in their
Right.
positioning, things like that. You're looking for that big, huge save. Your best penalty killer is always your goalie. So a few of those things kind of have been not there, for in these games lately. At the beginning of the year, they were solid.
Well, my suggestion, if you want your PK to be better, don't take penalties against the Florida Panthers.
5 of them.
Because
You're a smart man.
this is what happens. I mean, it's not just the Flyers they do it against. I mean, that you just saw, that's a clinic when they go out and start flying around like that. And their PK is good, too. I mean, you see why this team, 8 guys on the 4 Nations teams that are going to play in February. And Stanley Cup. You see exactly what, and this is the backup goaltender they're playing, and they still had the offense to come back. And he had a bit of a rough night himself.